My child, stop right now wherever you are. Do not scroll past this message. Heaven has set an invisible clock for this exact moment, and you have only a few seconds to pay attention. And while the rest of the world moves past you in a rush, my spirit pulled you into this quiet space because your soul desperately needed to breathe. You did not arrive here by accident today. This encounter was written in eternity long before you took your first breath. Do not treat this as an ordinary video on your screen. This is a divine appointment that was scheduled for your life. You have been searching for a clear sign for weeks. You prayed in the quiet hours when no one else was listening, and now heaven is answering your cry. Stay right here with me for a few minutes. Your total breakthrough begins in this exact second if you choose to listen. I have watched you carry a load that was far too heavy for your shoulders. I saw you put on a smile today like a piece of heavy armor. You smiled for your family. You smiled for your friends. And even though your heart was breaking into 1,000 pieces inside, you forced yourself to look strong so that everyone around you would feel comfortable and safe. I saw the quiet exhaustion that drained your spirit when the daylight faded away. You tried so hard to keep everything together for the people you love. You held back your tears until you were completely alone in your room, and when the house finally grew quiet, you let the weight press against your chest until you could barely catch your breath. I was sitting right beside you in that heavy darkness. I saw you during those long midnight hours when sleep refused to come to your weary eyes. Your mind turned over every single fear. You thought about your unpaid bills, your uncertain future, and the painful silence from people you once trusted completely. You wondered if heaven had forgotten your name, and you asked yourself how much longer you could possibly keep fighting this lonely battle. Hear me clearly today, my precious child. I have not forgotten you for a single moment. I did not look away from your silent grief, and I caught every single tear that fell from your eyes. You thought you were walking through that dark valley all by yourself, but I was leaning in close, holding you up when your knees were trembling and keeping you from falling apart. I am not speaking to you today with harsh judgment or demands. I am not here to point out your mistakes or remind you of your past failures. I came to lift the heavy burdens that you were never meant to carry alone. You have been fighting in your own strength for far too long, and your spirit is completely exhausted from trying to fix everything yourself. You have felt like you were trapped in a dry wilderness where nothing grows. You looked at the closed doors in your life, and you wondered why every step forward felt like 2 steps back. But I tell you today that the wilderness was not your graveyard. It was the sacred workshop where I was refining your gold, and the long season of waiting is finally turning right now. A major shift is taking place in the unseen realm at this exact instant. The long season of weariness is coming to an end, but I must give you a sacred warning before we go any further into this holy message. The adversary knows that your deliverance is standing at your door, and he wants your attention to wander so that you walk away unprepared. Do not turn away from this encounter before I finish speaking to your heart. If you scroll away right now, you risk walking back into the same heavy fog that has bound your mind for months. Heaven has opened a narrow window of grace for your life today. Stay right here in my presence, because the key to your freedom is about to be placed directly into your hands. Declare your amen right now in your heart if you are ready to receive this word. Say yes, Lord, in the quiet space of your soul, and feel the heavy weight beginning to lift off your chest. This is not the end of your story, my child. What you thought was a total failure was actually the sacred soil where your greatest blessing was being prepared. Keep this truth close to your heart as you listen to my voice today. I am about to reveal the exact reason why your most cherished plans met with sudden resistance, and I will show you what I have placed directly behind that locked door. Do not rush away, for the answer you have sought in prayer for months will be laid plain before this encounter concludes. Hear me carefully, my child, because I want you to understand why this moment was scheduled in eternity. Stay close to me, because I am about to unlock the hidden battle of your mind, and I will show you how to step into the deep peace that belongs to you. Let us look honestly at the heavy battle inside your mind. The mental noise has been constant. You replayed every conversation from your past. You questioned your own decisions, and you lay awake wondering where you made a wrong turn in your life. You felt like you were losing control of your thoughts. But I want you to know today that this quiet mental war was never a sign of your spiritual weakness. You carried a silent war inside your head while trying to keep a peaceful face for the world. Every night, the same questions returned to haunt your peace. You analyzed every detail of your life, trying to find the exact moment when things went wrong. You blamed yourself for things that were completely outside of your control. That internal pressure was exhausting your soul far more than any physical work ever could. You have been the strong giver for everyone around you for many years. You answered every late phone call. You carried their emotional problems on your own back, but when you needed someone to hold your hands, everybody seemed to disappear into thin air. You felt completely alone in your struggle. And even though your spirit was drained of all energy, you kept giving until you had nothing left inside your soul to offer. The weight of your daily responsibilities has felt suffocating lately. You wake up exhausted before your feet even touch the cold floor. The financial pressure has been pressing down against your chest like a heavy stone. You worried about how you would pay your bills, and you wondered how long you could survive under this relentless stress without falling apart completely. I know the deepest pain in your heart was not just the hard circumstances around you. The hardest part was the quiet room. You prayed until your voice was completely raw and tired. You asked for a clear answer from heaven, but it felt like your prayers were bouncing off a ceiling of brass and falling back to the floor. You wondered why I was so quiet while your world was crumbling around you. You thought my quietness meant that I had abandoned you in your storm. You believed that I turned my back on your sorrow because you were not holy enough or faithful enough. But hear me clearly today, my child. My quietness was never a sign of rejection. I was standing closer to you in those silent moments than I have ever been before in your entire life. When a master craftsman works on a precious piece of gold, he does not speak loudly while he focuses on the fire. He leans over the heat with complete focus. He watches every tiny movement of the metal, and he waits patiently until his own reflection appears clearly in the liquid gold. I was leaning over you in that hot furnace. I held back the flame so it would not destroy your soul. You thought you were being punished for your past mistakes and regrets. The enemy whispered lies into your mind, telling you that God was angry with you and that your season of grace was completely over. I dismantle those counterfeit lies right now. You were not being punished in the dark valley. You were being refined for a massive authority that you could not carry in your previous season. I saw how you kept your faith when everything around you was shaking. Your hands were trembling with fear. Your eyes were filled with heavy tears. Yet you still whispered my name in the quiet darkness, and you refused to give up on my promises. That was not a small effort. That was holy endurance, and heaven took note of every single step you took. Inscribe these words in your heart right now. I accept this peace into my spirit. Declare it with a firm heart, and let the truth settle into your soul. You are no longer fighting this battle alone. The heavy fog of confusion is lifting off your mind right in this moment, and my divine light is filling every dark corner of your heart. You passed the hardest test of your life without even realizing you were taking it. You proved that your trust was anchored in my character rather than just my visible gifts. And because you remained faithful in the quiet wilderness, I am preparing to place the keys of total restoration directly into your hands. Do not walk away now, because what you called a delay was actually my hand shielding you from a fatal misstep. I held you back until the foundation beneath your feet was strong enough to support your destiny. Stay close to me as we move deeper into this message, for I am about to show you how your greatest loss was actually my divine setup for your ultimate breakthrough. Now let us open your eyes to the true meaning of the quiet wilderness you walked through. You thought you were forgotten because the skies seemed cold and silent for so long. The noise of your daily struggle filled your head with constant doubt. But what you called a delay, heaven calls preparation. And what you felt as a painful loss was actually room being made for something far greater than you could ever imagine. I need you to understand how heaven views your patience. When a loving father watches his child take a hard test in school, he stays quiet in the back of the room. He does not shout the answers from the doorway. He remains silent because he knows he taught his child well. My silence was never abandonment. It was my deep confidence in the spiritual strength that I placed inside your soul. You looked at the doors that slammed shut right in your face. You wept when those opportunities vanished right when you were about to reach them. You thought that enemy forces were stopping your progress at every turn. But hear my voice clearly today, my child. I was the one who locked those doors. I stepped into your path because you were closer to a wrong turn than you ever realized. You were operating from a state of total exhaustion. You were ready to settle for broken things just to relieve the painful pressure in your heart. If I had allowed you to walk through those open doors in that weary state, that decision would have consumed your peace and ruined your destiny. My sovereign hand blocked your path to protect you from a trap that you could not see with your natural eyes. Pause right now and let this truth settle into your soul. Take a deep breath and feel the heavy tension leaving your body. Inscribe these words right now in your heart or write them down. I trust your divine timing, Lord. Declare it with authority and feel the sacred peace washing over your mind right in this moment. The delay was never your punishment. It was your divine shield. Consider how gold is treated in the hands of a master jeweler. The raw metal goes into the deep fire not because it is hated, but because it holds tremendous value. The heat separates the useless dirt from the precious metal. You were not being broken down in that hot furnace of life. You were being refined so that you could carry the heavy weight of the glory that is about to be revealed. The enemy tried to convince you that your time had completely passed. He whispered that you missed your window of opportunity and that others left you far behind in the race. That argument is an absolute lie from the pit of darkness. Heaven does not operate on a human schedule. You are not falling behind. You are being carefully built into something powerful that has never existed before. Look back at the moments when you thought you would not survive the night. Your tears soaked your pillow in the quiet hours. Your mind was racing with endless questions about tomorrow. Yet morning came, and you were still standing upright. That was not luck or human strength. That was my invisible grace holding your spirit together when everything around you was crumbling into pieces. I watched you keep your integrity when it would have been so easy to become bitter. You answered injury with mercy instead of seeking revenge. You chose to be kind to people who were cold to you. That gentle spirit in the middle of a cruel storm proved that you carry my royal bloodline inside your veins. You passed the test of character that many others failed. Now the season of intense refining is reaching its final hour. The furnace has done its sacred work inside your heart. The dross has been burned away, and my reflection is shining brightly through your spirit. You no longer hunger for the cheap validation of the world. You are standing firm in a steady faith that cannot be shaken by the opinions or actions of people. What you thought was a graveyard of your dreams was actually the fertile soil where your true purpose was taking deep root. The seeds you planted with your tears were never lost in the dirt. They were quietly growing in the dark realm, waiting for the exact appointed season to burst forth into a massive harvest. And that harvest season stands directly ahead of you today. Do not look back at the closed doors with regret or sorrow anymore. Do not waste your energy weeping over things that were removed from your life for your own protection. What I am preparing to give you in this next chapter will make you forget the pain of everything you lost in the wilderness. You are stepping onto holy ground, and your hands will soon hold the tangible reward of your endurance. Hold this sacred truth close to your heart as we move forward into this encounter. I am about to unveil the true identity you carry beyond the fire, and I will show you why the adversary fought you so fiercely in your darkest hour. Stay right here with me, because your story is about to take a powerful turn that will alter the trajectory of your entire lineage. Stop looking at your wilderness as a graveyard of your broken dreams. The enemy wanted you to believe that you were completely destroyed by the heat of the trial, but I tell you today that you were not being broken down in that painful furnace. You were being broken open like a precious alabaster jar, so that the divine fragrance inside you could finally fill the world. Think about what happens when a fragrant oil jar is broken open. The vessel must crack, so the rich oil inside can flow out to heal everyone nearby. Your tears were not a sign of total defeat. They were the holy ointment flowing from your spirit during the refining process, and every drop carried a healing power that will restore others who walk through similar fires. The adversary placed fake labels over your heart for many years. He called you a failure. He called you rejected, useless, and forgotten by heaven. He whispered that you were too damaged to ever be used again by God. I dismantle every single one of those counterfeit labels right now, because those cruel words were birthed from darkness to keep you bound in silent shame. You are not a victim, surviving the bitter storms of life. You are a royal heir to the kingdom of heaven, chosen before the foundations of the world were laid. You carry anointing written over your destiny, and no weapon formed against your mind can alter the royal identity that I placed deep within your soul. Stand tall right now, because your true authority is returning. Listen to me clearly today, my beloved child. You spent far too many nights feeling unworthy of my love and favor. You judged yourself by your worst moments, and you allowed human opinions to determine your value. But humans only look at the outward appearance of your scars. I look directly at your heart, and I see the pure gold that remained unbroken through every test. The scars you carry are not marks of shame or disgrace. They are holy medals of honor that prove you survived the fiercest battles of the spirit world. When the enemy looks at your scars today, he does not see a defeated victim anymore. He sees a mighty warrior who walked through the intense fire without burning, and he trembles because he knows your testimony carries power. You were picked to hear something rare today. You were set apart before you were ever formed in your mother's womb. When others saw only your mistakes, I saw a living witness of divine grace who would stand unbroken before the storm. You are a carrier of divine fire, and the dark places you walked through were only preparing you to light the path for thousands of weary souls. I am stripping away the heavy garments of grief and self-pity that you wore in the valley. I am wrapping you in a royal robe of righteousness, honor, and strength. You will no longer walk with your head bowed low in fear. You will walk with bold confidence, knowing that the Creator of the universe walks beside you as your personal protector and eternal guide. Proclaim, I trust in your spirit right now to hold these divine gifts in your hands. Speak it with authority into the quiet air of your room. Feel the counterfeit shame melting off your shoulders like hot wax in the sun. You belong to the royal family of heaven. You are set apart for a sacred purpose, and your story will demonstrate my supernatural restoration to everyone around you. You pass through the fire without the smell of smoke upon your clothes. The heavy chains of your past are falling off your hands at this exact moment. The enemy tried to bury your destiny in the dirt, but he did not realize that you were a sacred seed. What he designed to destroy your legacy has become the exact platform that positions you for victory. Do not allow anyone to talk you back into your old grave of guilt. The old version of you died in the furnace, and the royal version of you is stepping forth into the light. You carry the bloodline of champions, intercessors, and overcomers. Your mind is being renewed right now, and your spirit is rising in holy authority above every earthly trial. Hold your head high as you step out of the wilderness season. The dross of your past is gone forever, and the gold of your character is shining brightly before heaven. You are my chosen vessel, my precious child, and my royal heir. Nothing in heaven or on earth can strip away the royal status that I have declared over your life today, because my word over your destiny is final. Every lie that was spoken against your reputation is losing its strength right now. People judged your quiet season as a permanent defeat, but I was building you into an unstoppable force. They thought you were finished because you were silent, but your silence was the quiet confidence of a royal warrior preparing for the greatest comeback of your lineage. Before this hour ends, you must understand why those you loved were permitted to leave your side in the dark season. Stay right here with me for the next few moments, because I am about to explain the mystery of your broken relationships, and I will show you how my hand pruned your circle to prepare you for your greatest harvest. I know the deep ache you felt when those you trusted most walked away. You felt abandoned in your darkest hour. You asked why your loyalty was answered with cold betrayal. And while you wept over their empty seats at your table, you wondered what you had done wrong to make them turn against you so suddenly. You did nothing wrong, my child. Their departure was not your personal failure. It was my active hand pruning your life. A master gardener cuts away branches that cannot bear fruit in the next season. I cleared those people out of your circle because the smallness of where they were comfortable could never hold the massive glory that I am releasing over your life today. They were comfortable with you as long as you were struggling beside them. They loved helping you when you were down, but when my favor began to rest upon your head, their secret jealousy was revealed. The adversary used their envy to plant seeds of discord, hoping that their betrayal would break your heart and make you turn back into the wilderness. I stepped in to protect your divine inheritance. Some people are only anointed for a short season of your journey. They were never meant to travel into your promised land. If I had allowed them to stay in your inner circle, their lack of faith would have contaminated the sacred soil of your harvest and ruined your peace. I also pruned away the old mindsets that kept you bound to their approval. You spent years pleasing people who were never satisfied with you. I broke that toxic cycle in your life. And every morning when you wake up, your heart will be tied only to my loving voice and my eternal purpose for your life. Release every single drop of bitterness right now. Do not hold on to the anger or demand explanations from those who walked away. Wish them peace, and let my hand seal the separation forever. Speak it with a firm voice into the quiet atmosphere right now, and declare that you release them with forgiveness so your soul can be completely free to receive my highest blessings. The spiritual warfare against your destiny was fierce. The enemy saw your assignment long before you recognized it yourself. He sent constant spiritual arrows to drain your strength and corrupt your focus. He used financial strain, sudden sickness, and relational drama to keep your mind in a state of endless exhaustion, hoping you would forfeit your royal birthright. Every word that was spoken against your character in secret was brought before my heavenly altar. The adversary tried to use those malicious words to condemn you in the spiritual realm, but I stood as your advocate and silenced every false accusation. And I declared that your holy endurance in the fire paid the full price for your complete freedom and total restoration. The enemy miscalculated your holy endurance. He thought the heavy pressure would crush your spirit completely. Instead, the pressure turned your faith into an unbreakable diamond. I disarmed every spiritual weapon that was formed against your lineage, and I turned his wicked schemes into the exact ladder that lifts you into your ultimate victory. I am replacing every lost relationship with divine alignments. I am bringing faithful allies into your path who will honor your calling and protect your peace. You will no longer have to carry every heavy burden alone. They will stand beside you in holy agreement, encouraging your vision and helping you build the great works that I have prepared for your hands to accomplish. The unseen battle over your destiny is ending right now. The dark clouds of confusion are dissolving before my heavenly light. Your mind is being restored to perfect clarity and rest. You will no longer walk in fear of sudden bad news, because your heart is securely anchored in the eternal promises of your Father who never fails. The shift in the spiritual atmosphere is now complete. The long winter of waiting is turning into your glorious spring right before your eyes. Stand still, my beloved child. The three seals of lack, confusion, and delay that held your life captive are shattering at this exact instant, and your total breakthrough is bursting open. I step into the center of your life right now with absolute heavenly authority. The long season of weary waiting has reached its divine turning point. The invisible chains that held your hands captive are melting like soft wax before a blazing fire. You are standing on holy ground in this exact second, and the almighty power of heaven is moving across your room to deliver your soul. I decree over your existence today that the reign of dark oppression in your lineage is shattered forever. Every legal argument that enemy forces used against your family is canceled by my royal word. You are no longer under the rule of fear, confusion, or lingering sorrow. Hear the glorious sound of breaking chains ringing through the unseen realm right now. I speak directly to the first seal that bound your precious mind for so many painful years. I break the heavy seal of anxiety, overthinking, and sleepless nights right now. You will no longer carry that suffocating pressure in your chest when you lay your head down to rest. The spirit of peace is flooding your mind, and every racing fear is silenced before my presence. The endless loop of worry that drained your mental energy for months is officially destroyed today. You will sleep in deep, undisturbed serenity tonight because my holy angels are guarding your pillow on every side. The dark clouds of panic and mental fatigue are vanishing into thin air. Receive the divine clarity that belongs to you as a royal heir of heaven. I speak directly to the second seal that locked your physical resources in a tight grip. I shatter the seal of financial blockage, sudden debt, and continuous lack right now. The invisible hands that stole your hard-earned fruit are cut off by my divine sword. Every reservoir of provision that was held back from your family is opening wide to pour out drenching blessings upon your life. You will no longer live from a place of constant fear and painful scarcity. The dry wilderness where your money vanished like water into hot sand is transformed into a fertile valley of overflowing supply. I am releasing new ideas, unexpected favor, and supernatural doors of abundance into your hands today. The spirit of poverty has no power over your house any longer. I speak directly to the third seal that kept your life trapped in a cycle of endless delay. I shatter the seal of generational stagnation and closed doors right now. The spirit that made you feel like you were running on a treadmill, taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, is broken forever. What took others decades to accomplish will happen for you in a single season of divine speed. The ancient doors that remained locked against your lineage for generations are swinging wide open today. No demonic force in hell can shut the doors that I have opened over your head. You are stepping through into open country where your steps are swift and your paths are smooth. The long winter of holding back is officially over for your entire house. Rise up in holy authority right now, my beloved child. Take a deep breath and feel the absolute freedom expanding inside your spirit. The heavy, dark weight that sat on your shoulders for years has vanished completely into the light of my presence. Look at your life through eyes of faith, because the atmosphere around your home is charged with the glory of my restoration. The massive harvest season that you wept for in secret has officially arrived at your door today. Every seed of tears you sowed in the dry soil of your hardest trials is bursting into a crop of joy and strength. You will see the physical proof of this spiritual shift with your own eyes before this month comes to an end. Your weeping in the night is replaced by shouting in the morning. I declare over your life today that you are living proof of my unshakable covenant. The trial did not destroy you, the furnace did not burn you, and the delay did not defeat your purpose. You came out of the wilderness wearing a royal crown of victory. Stand tall, speak bold words of faith, and step forward into the massive inheritance that was reserved for your name from eternity. No weapon formed against your financial freedom, your health, or your family peace will ever prosper again. The adversary fought you so fiercely because he was terrified of the glory that you carry inside your spirit. But his season of harassment in your life is terminated today. The legal victory has been granted in heaven, and your freedom is fully established on earth right now. Now that the heavy barrier is completely broken, you must prepare your soul to step into active obedience. Open your hands wide to receive the physical direction for your harvest. Stay right here with me for these final moments, because I am about to show you how to place your seed upon the altar and unseal the full current of my divine supply. My child, look at your hands right now in this quiet space. A clenched fist holds on to fear because it believes that supply is limited. When you live with a tight grip, you are trying to protect the small portion you have left. But a royal heir walks with an open hand. An open hand demonstrates complete trust in a father whose riches never run dry. You spent many years operating from a mindset of survival and lack. You held on to every small thing because you were afraid that tomorrow would bring more hardship. You were constantly bracing for the next financial hit or emotional blow. But I am breaking that spirit of scarcity off your mind today. I am teaching you how to live in the freedom of kingdom abundance. When you open your hand toward heaven, you are not losing what you carry. You are releasing an anchor of faith into the harvest that I have prepared for your house. You are declaring to the spiritual realm that your supply does not depend on the failing economy of this world. Your provision comes directly from the infinite storehouses of your heavenly Father. I am asking you today to make a sacred move of faith right where you are sitting. Place a seed of faith upon the stone altar of this holy calling today. Open your hand, release your trust, and watch heaven unseal the overflowing provision meant for your lineage. This physical and spiritual step is your prophetic decree that the season of tight holding is officially over. This seed is not a commercial exchange or an earthly demand. It is your holy covenant of obedience offered from a grateful heart. When you step out in bold faith while others shrink back in fear, heaven takes notice of your courage. You are setting a boundary against the devourer, and you are inviting my supernatural increase into every area of your daily life. Think about the widow who gave her last small portion in the middle of a terrible drought. She looked at her empty jar, and she chose to trust the prophetic word above her visible reality. Her single action of faith opened a continuous stream of oil that did not dry up until the famine ended. Your open hand today is activating that exact same law of kingdom multiplication. You are no longer a slave to the fear of sudden poverty or lack. You are stepping into the position of a generous ruler who manages great wealth with wisdom and peace. What you release today in faith does not leave your life forever. It moves ahead of you into your future, turning into a massive harvest that will sustain your children for generations to come. Feel the eager expectation rising up inside your spirit right in this moment. Heaven is responding to a heart that dares to trust my promises without wavering. The doors of financial freedom are swinging wide, and unexpected blessings are locating your house. You will look back at this day as the sacred turning point when your scarcity was swallowed up in my divine abundance. Stand firm in your royal identity as you step into this new frequency of living. Do not let fear whisper that you are making a mistake by letting go. Speak with bold authority into the spiritual atmosphere right now. Declare with a loud voice that your hands are wide open, your heart is completely ready, and your entire household is stepping into the fullness of my glory. Proclaim these words aloud right now to lock this freedom into your soul. Speak it with a firm voice into the atmosphere. I am free from what holds me back. Feel the ancient chains of delay and restriction shattering into tiny pieces. The heavy spirit of fear has lost its grip, and the sacred breath of liberty is filling your lungs today. You are no longer bound by the invisible limits that stopped your ancestors. You carry the key to open new doors for your entire family line. Every financial barrier that stood like a mountain before your eyes is turning into smooth ground. Step forward with joy, for the path ahead of you is illuminated with the brilliant light of my favor and protection. Keep this sacred encounter close to your heart as we move into our final moment together. Close your eyes, my child, and let this final sealing prayer protect what was birthed today. I am about to place a quiet cover of peace over your spirit, so that no thief can steal the holy confidence that has been awakened inside your heart. Close your eyes right now, my beloved child. Take a deep and slow breath in this sacred moment. Feel the heavy tension leaving your shoulders completely, and as you rest in my presence, I am placing my holy hand over your head to seal every promise and every blessing that was spoken over your destiny today. You are completely safe in my care. Heavenly Father, I seal this precious soul in the eternal covenant of your peace. Let your holy angels surround their home on every side tonight. I command every dark assignment against their mind, their health, and their family resources to be broken into tiny pieces forever. And let your supernatural quietness settle deep into their heart right now. I decree that the long season of painful wilderness and secret tears is over for this house. Every seed that was sown in sorrow is turning into a massive harvest of supernatural joy. Pour out your unmerited favor upon their daily path today, and let them walk with absolute confidence, knowing that their future is completely secure in your loving hands. Now hear my sacred instruction for your journey ahead, my precious child. Keep this divine revelation quiet in your heart for a season. Do not rush to explain the deep shift that took place in your spirit today to people who cannot understand your path. Worldly noise and cynical opinions can try to disturb a sacred blessing before it takes deep root in the soil. Protect this embryonic blessing in the quiet sanctuary of your soul. Let your faith mature in secret before you display the results to the world. You do not need to prove anything to those who doubted your calling when you were in the furnace. When the appointed hour arrives, the visible fruit of your life will speak far louder than any human words ever could. You are stepping into a quiet confidence that does not demand public applause. You no longer need the cheap validation of the crowd because your worth is anchored in my eternal love. Walk softly with me in this new chapter of your journey. Let your peace be your inner shield, and let your quiet joy show everyone around you that heaven is resting upon your house. There was a time when you thought you had to explain yourself to everyone who misunderstood your heart. You spent precious energy trying to defend your motives and repair broken relationships with people who only wanted to criticize you. I am releasing you from that heavy burden today. You no longer owe explanations to those who were never committed to understanding your journey. Your silent growth will be your greatest testimony in the coming days. As you remain quiet and rooted in my presence, I will build your strength behind closed doors. The work I am doing inside your spirit is deep and lasting. It does not need the rush of human approval, because it is being sustained by the eternal rivers of my grace. Sleep tonight in deep and undisturbed serenity, my beloved child. The heavy battle is no longer yours to carry because I have taken full authority over your situation. You will wake up tomorrow morning with a clear mind and a renewed spirit. The dark clouds of confusion have cleared away forever, and my divine light is illuminating your path forward. Look at your life through eyes of faith from this moment onward. The painful scars of your past trials are no longer marks of shame. They are holy reminders that you survived the fire by my grace, and they prove that you carry a resurrection power inside your soul. You are my living witness, my faithful steward, and my cherished royal heir. Step boldly into your new chapter with your head lifted high. You are no longer bound by the fears or limitations that held your family captive for generations. The wilderness season is officially behind you, and the fertile land of your promise is standing open before your feet. Walk forward with joy, for my presence goes before you to make every crooked path straight. I am releasing a new mantle of wisdom over your thoughts and decisions. You will notice a deep calm in your heart when challenges try to rise up against your peace. You will speak words of authority instead of words of panic, and every step you take in this new season will reflect the royal identity that I restored inside your soul today. Express your heart's agreement right now to seal this holy encounter forever. Speak Amen in the quiet depth of your soul, or write it in the comments below to stay connected with our faithful remnant. Go forth in my unshakable love, my continuous protection, and my deep peace. My favor stays with you always, and your glory story has just begun.